between I can't talk, Nestor and Yanek, as we hop into the first moving game of potential. Well, I mean, there's going to be 2 moving games no matter what. But in this best of 5, I feel like all the viewers out there know the format now, so I'm not going to repeat it again. But you know what? Without further ado, let's get this game started. And again, Lindy, I'll give you a little mic time to maybe talk over some of these guys' strengths, weaknesses, and again, break down a bit more on what you expect to see.
I expect Nestor to guess quickly, honestly, because Nestor told me he had done no moving practice at all in preparation for this tournament. While I know that Yanek is kind of competent at moving, so we see a quick guess by Nestor, so that kind of underlines what I thought would happen here.
And is that just sorry to interrupt, is that just to dumb it down for the maybe new viewer? Is what you're saying with like the guessing quickly, as Jake was also on about earlier, guessing quickly in moving kind of makes a moving round a no moving round? Is that where we're at?
We're just if you guess quickly, you just try to prevent your opponent from getting to info. So if you know that your opponent is able to use the info better, then you want to not let them have the info at all. So that's what you're trying to do with that.
Makes sense.
The second round actually looks a lot like very coastal. Oh, I didn't see the language there, but I think it's coastal Poland or something like that.
Yeah.
Just the trees remind me of the coast for some reason. I wonder if this is actually like the spit in the Baltic Sea, but well, let's see. I think it's definitely on the north coast.
It does say Hawaii on that building there, but don't get fooled, chat. Just because it said Hawaii doesn't mean that's where we are. I've made those mistakes
Yanek
before.
is locked in though in the west, so if I am correct, then that could be huge damage for Nestor.
Ooh.
And it is north coast, but Yanek is in the right region as well, kind of. So actually damage on Nestor.
Yeah, but luckily again, I mean, despite the fact that they're both off, they're off by the same margin, so a minimal damage. But that's, I guess, where even in the early rounds, the damage can be quite massive.
Totally.
Yeah. So
I think Nestor had the right vibes there. He was clicking coastal the whole time, and then he moved further south to hedge, which did not pay off for him. And now we got some black screens. No, they're back. Okay.
Yeah, and I think just because we're seeing black screen on Yanek's screen doesn't mean it would be pretty insane if you just plonked something off of a black screen. That'd be that's bold. That's bold. that's a game mode I haven't tried yet. Blind Geoguessr. That'd be pretty impressive.
That would be pretty impressive, yeah. This time Yanek was guessing super quickly, so maybe he also does not want to go for info on these rounds. Maybe he favors himself on the quick guessing.
And a good 800 damage. Only in round 3. I mean, I feel like whenever you get around 1,000 or more in the first 4 rounds, that's a really good start.
It's a good boost for your mental as well.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Okay. Now we got some bad camera quality, which I don't think is India in this time. I think it's Cambodia here, actually.
Okay.
Usually when you see this bad camera quality, your first instinct should be to go India, but I believe these palm trees and the poles suggest that we are in Cambo here, and that's exactly where Nestor is zooming. Very confident region guess though, going so far west. Curious if he just thinks he recognizes the landscape. Yeah, Yanek with the more conservative middle guess, and that pays off big time here.
Yeah, 1,300 damage done. Again, I mean, round 4 damage, big ones at that, coming through as we head into round number 5. 3 times multiplier, and I feel like this is really, really where it can start to kick off as we go to what I would guess is the beautiful Alps. Or close there too, anyway.
It does look like it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It should be Switzerland, because we have the camera really low to the ground, and we have Swiss bollards here. I reckon we're gonna see some quick guesses here, judging by how they are playing so far. Nestor's already zoomed in.
Well, quick guess coming through. Yanek currently with a 500-point lead, but we'll see if he gets to keep it after this one. Does that give him anything to go by? Oberei, Södern. Is that enough to get it? Nope, it's not going to be. And once again, it's Nestor.
Yeah, that's kind of tying up the game here. Taking the lead by just a little bit. Yeah.
They're following side by side as we get into round number 6.
This is a Jordan, I believe. So probably not big points in this round either. and we are racking up the multis here quite quickly.
Yeah, that's. I feel like that's kind of been the memo of the day. A lot of quick guessing, a lot of trying to catch your opponent off guard, and then very quickly getting into those round 6 plus really important guesses.
I totally agree. I also think we saw a lot of smaller countries on the moving games today, which are usually not as significant for damage. So we see a lot of high rounds in these games.
Just 300 damage here.
The capital hedge would have done a lot of damage here, actually, but none of them opt for the capital. So
yeah, they both opted to go further south. Didn't pay off for either of them. As we now hop into round number 7 again. I mean, I feel like every game we're trying to beat the record of how fast can we get to the last couple of rounds. But now, here we are, very quickly into round number 7 with a 4 times multiplier.
They are definitely giving MK and Jewel a run for their money based on time.
Right. What do you see here? Anything to go by?
I think this is like I think it's just Thailand, but are we driving right? Is it Laos? I'm actually not 100% sure. We might be driving right here. Yeah, it is Laos script as well, so we are definitely in Vientiane here.
Well, I mean, or going Thailand.
Am I making a mistake because we have a Thailand guess? Maybe I'm making a mistake, but I thought we were driving right. No, okay, it's Thailand. Yeah, it's Thailand. All right.
Well, Thailand, big country, 4 times multiplier as well. Let's see now where this one's gonna take us as Nestor on point. That should be able to stay in it. Not game. 181 health. Yanek still alive.
Very impressive guess there from Nestor. I think he saw an advert for a university. Maybe it did say the state name on that advert. I can't quite tell in like the Discord screen sharing here because it is kind of
yeah, I'm sorry. Danish internet doesn't provide super crisp.
Fair enough.
That's incredibly impressive. What do you do now if you're Yanek here? I mean, 181. Is this where you try to pick up the pace and catch him off guard, or what do you do?
On this specific round, you can't because it's a small country. In a small country, you're not able to win. So here the focus should be to survive for Yanek and then try to win it in the next 2 rounds. Maybe with a quick guess. We will see if he survives. It's somewhere in hilly Serbia. And Nestor could easily pick up the 100 points here, but Yanek can't win.
I mean, 4.5 times multiplier, 181. That's like 5 meters off, and it's game, and it's not going to matter. It is going to be game, because it was way more than 5 meters off. It was 60 kilometers off, and that is going to be Nestor taking match number 1. I mean, Nestor barely taking any damage here whatsoever. What did you see, Lenley, here in the first match that stood out to you?
I think it was just a very equal game, to be honest, except for that one round where I think Nestor might have found the state name on the advert and Yanek did not. So that one round can change the whole course of the game, and that's just how moving goes sometimes if both players are equally skilled. Yeah. Maybe someone is going to find information and the other is not, and this is exactly what happened here.
Definitely is. Which do you think is, I mean, obviously it's extremely biased, this question, but which game mode do you think is the harder to master of the 3?
Ooh, it's a good question, because I think the skill ceiling for mastering a mode is really high in every mode. Like, I would say Blinky is the one that has mastered moving, is the closest to mastering moving, because he has, for example, learned to read all different Indian scripts, or like, I don't know, he learned so many city names and whatever, just to be able to read addresses everywhere he is, basically, and be able to tell where he is in the world. And I think moving is really hard to master because moving games take up a lot of time, while in no moving you can quickly spam games and improve. But mastering no moving at the current stage of the game is also something that some people are trying to do. For example, some players I know, for example, like RC or MK, or also I'm also trying to do that, but not quite there yet. Getting into specific coverage of specific years and looking like at exactly where the Google car drove in which year, how it looked there. And for big countries, that might make the difference. And it's very hard to master all of the big countries in no moving.
For For sure. That's a perfect segue for us to move into that exact game mode. No moving is where we are now headed as we venture into this lovely, lovely, lovely forest.
Interesting. Definitely looks European with this narrow road, and we have like a little patch of grass in the middle of the road, which is sometimes known as Irish grass, colloquially.
Okay.
I'm not sure if this is Ireland, though. It could be, but I could also see France or UK here. Let's see where the players guess. We have a UK and one English channel hedge, actually.
I mean, regardless, I feel like it's, what are we talking? Maybe 150 points, 200 points off if this is the luck. And even though one is in a country, one isn't, and now they're closer to each other as well, so that's even
Yeah,
less.
now they're moving closer, yeah. It was just Wales there, actually. So not the Irish grass this time. But good guesses by both. Was a kind of a hard rural round, so nice that they both get the country here.
From one forest to another, this one a little more boreal, I feel like. But
this looks very recognizable.
Okay.
I think we could see a right road guess here in Russia, and maybe some damage if the other person does not recognize it.
Big round.
I can't 100% see the antenna, but this looks like a round I remember. Let's see where they both zoom. Okay, Nestor opting for far west. And this could be big damage here because, yeah, we have dashed road lines on the side, which maybe Nestor first thought could be Kursk road lines, which is in the southwest. I don't think this looks like that, though, based on the landscape, so I think it's more northern.
I mean, Yanek is still hovering north of Mongolia, but now he's starting to make his way further west as well. Oh?
Ooh. We have a quick look by Nestor, and Yanek is still... This might be big damage. I'm not sure where it is.
4 seconds.
Ooh, it is Karelia. Yeah. That is big damage for Nestor. Great guess there.
Round 2, 2,000 damage. Heading into round 3, Yanek almost at half health Nestor. This is a perfect start for him as we hop into very, oh my lord, very screenshot, very wallpaper type area here. Beautiful.
Absolutely. With this concrete road made of concrete slabs, this should be the Philippines. Could also be Thailand, but the agricultural fields look more Filipino. Also, it looks like the Google car is driving left on the right here. So we could see big damage here, though, because open agricultural fields like that are most common in the very north and very south.
Ooh, and you can see it's hopping back and forth. The coin flip.
Here. I almost think it's Mindanao here, but it's very hard to tell. Philippines is hard to reach, I guess.
Is this where you hit shit and just kind of do what you can see Yanek is doing right now, put it somewhere in the middle?
Yes, exactly. Nestor is committing here to Mindanao, which I think is a good guess. And Yanek is considering switching north. But he's kind of hedging it. And it was north. Wow. It's still big damage for Yanek, but he could have picked up maybe game here even.
True. I mean, with 1,000 going his way just off of the distance they had there, would have definitely been at least 4,000 plus had he been anywhere near the marker. But again, I mean, to go from having just, chip damage in every single round, the last 3 rounds we've just had here has been massive damage all the way through. I like this. I like that these maps are making it a little more tricky for these players to lock it down.
Absolutely, yeah. As soon as you get to big countries, you will see massive damage left and right. Yeah, this one not as massive. I think this time it's actually Ireland. It might still be the UK, to be honest, but we are driving left here in Europe. We have a lot of hedge rows, which are very UK or Ireland. And Yanek, they're both hedging between the two.
Hedging the hedge rows, I like it.
Same as me, they are not confident which country this is.
And, I mean, again, it is still 2.5 multiplier, but if they're both in and around, well, the water, effectively, it's not going to be massive damage regardless.
No, I don't think this is going to matter much. Yeah, maybe if one person decides to commit, but they are both in the water right now.
A bit further over. Yanek didn't readjust in the end. He was all the way out in the water early as well, so there's going to be 500 extra damage done. And for Yanek, I mean, well, he was over 1,000 points behind before. This extra 500 damage come through is a good kind of readjustment.
Absolutely. This game is still very much open for anyone. And yeah. I mean, they are both more of a no-moving player, so we can see that they are both like... This is kind of where they feel at home, I feel like. Definitely, Yanek is also good at NMPZ though, so if it gets there, he has the second most NMPZ duels played out of any player in this tournament.
Oh, wow.
After bad at Geo, so he has a lot of experience in that mode if it comes to that.
Well, it would be amazing. We have still yet to make it all the way to game 5, but who knows? Maybe this one will take us all the way there. As these guys are seemingly again very evenly matched.
Yeah, this is a Japan round with very little information. This time we don't have a lot of the info that you had on the other Japan rounds, and both players opt to hedge middle, and it's again damage for Yanek.
And it's yet again a round 2 where Yanek was actually up there. Maybe not like 5k territory, but close there too. And then kind of last minute opts to go further off of it. And therefore doesn't come out with the win. As we now head out to a very, very flat, very, very straight road. Which I guess is where you start dialing things up with the sun. Or is it long enough that you could?
I think the sun should be in the north here, which confirms you're in the southern hemisphere. Because this does look like northern Argentina to me. And I think this is also... This road angle is... Yeah, I think Yanek might be on the right road here on this long highway. And now he's moving more south. I think this might be...
He doesn't 5k.
He's lining up. He's lining up. He might.
But is there anything else to go by? Like, there are no side roads.
I think it's more north than Yanek. I think Nestor is actually on the better guess here, but also move south. Let's see where it actually ends up being. Okay,
further north
he goes
again.
Back north. Oh, wow.
Yet another reposition that comes out and costs him quite a bit, almost half health off with the 1400 hit.
Yeah, interesting. That looked pretty north to me, but Yanek's hedge paid off there, and Nestor going pretty risky is, yeah, costing him here.
Definitely. Yet another incredibly beautiful location. Just get a tent, food for 10 days, and have the best time of your life. If you like being in complete solitude in the middle of nowhere, that is, of course. But definitely beautiful with the mountains there in the background. I guess you use them, like this is your go-to as well, that you would use them for lining up this position too.
Lining up with mountains is kind of fun, yeah. This is definitely somewhere in Alaska or Yukon, and some people have learned all of the roads here. Let's see if one of them recognizes this mountain ridge. I personally do not, so I don't know exactly which road this is. Not the best at Northern America, but yeah, they're still both scanning. Maybe trying to find the mountain ridge, but this could be game if one of them picks up the right road here. They're both on the same one right now.
4k damage, so, very much within reach with a 4x multiplier here. Far up towards the northwest is where Nestor is going.
That is still in the same place though, so yeah, you could have won if you went Alaska there, but both of them opt for the same road.
Close one again. I mean, these guys, as I said before, very evenly matched. Even when one is off, they're kind of off together. It seems like. I mean, we also talked about it before with Radu, how everyone that are playing at the highest level of Geoguessr are now kind of coming out of the same school of learning the game. So it makes sense that if one makes a mistake, the other one oftentimes will make the same.
Absolutely, yeah, that is definitely the case. This round is very nondescript here. Definitely looks like there's a North American marker and post box down the road, but I'm not 100% sure if I can see it correctly. Yanek opts for British Columbia here, which is interesting. Could definitely be the case, but this might be big damage. If I think I like the guess that Yanek is doing here, but let's see where Nestor will place his marker.
They're both
same area, so.
I mean, these are the rounds these are the rounds to me that showcase the experts of this game. You have a forest, and obviously, yes.
He's switching. He's switching.
Oh, he got
it! Wow!
The last second guess, and Yanek gets demolished. If you could see our faces right now, I mean, I'm gonna put to our faces for a second. We're setting up the game anyway. I was like, oh, that was insane.
It's a crazy switch, yeah, absolutely crazy.
All the way across the country. Holy moly. What did he see?
mean, Nestor
like, what was the gut feeling call to just sending across the country?
I think the thought process here was that the trees, first of all, they felt pretty British Columbia, which is where they both were first. And then maybe Nestor realized that the kind of coverage doesn't really match up with what you usually see in BC. So yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the case, but maybe he thought something else. And yeah, I mean, he did a great job switching there.
Insane.
But, yeah.
Absolutely insane. I was about to go down the rabbit hole of talking about how they were both so good at guessing the guesses so right, and then one was half a planet off.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, an incredible round. I love it. I mean, again, you must remember there was a round in the European qualifiers where a guy just last second flicked it to Turkey, and it was pretty much the exact same scenario as we saw here. Oh, Smarter, that's right. These rounds where it's just like you can see in their head, they go, oh, I'm second guessing this, but I shouldn't. Okay, screw it, we're doing it. Boom. And then you go, and then you win because of it. That's gotta be. Have you had moments like this before?
You can lose on those.
Well, you
can lose on those thingies, and you can win on those. I remember in the World Cup where I played on stage against the later World Cup champion Consus. I had a really nice no-moving guess in Mexico where I had my marker quite far away from where the actual location was, and last second switched it to like a 4,800, and that won me this no-moving game. So was one of the best switches I've ever done. But
that's insane.
Yeah, I've also seen it happen the other way. Like the switch that Mada did was against me and knocked me out of the group stages.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Nonetheless, I mean, it's just I feel like from a viewing perspective, as we do get into this next match, from a viewing perspective, those moments are like the scissor kick goals in football, you know? They're like the ultimate flick mechanical plays that we see, and I think they're absolutely phenomenal.
Now we're getting back into moving, and it's 2-0 for Nestor. This is going to be a hard uphill battle for Yanek. He really has to focus on this moving game. Maybe get a good start this time and put Nestor under pressure and see how he reacts. He has info here, maybe. I can't really read it on my screen, but there might be something there. But since he's not sending quickly, I believe that is not the case.
There's phone numbers for ambulances. There's a lot of official vehicles there for you to potentially get something off of.
Phone numbers are quite helpful in Mexico. They have like a 3-digit phone code at the beginning, and if you just remember the first digit, you can already narrow down the region in Mexico.
I think it was 746. I didn't see it fast enough.
Ooh, interesting. I mean, the 7s are, I believe, somewhere... They're somewhere around Mexico City. I don't really remember where exactly. But those are the kind of things, phone codes and stuff. They're in a similar region, by the way. East, okay.
Hidalgo.
Phone codes and stuff are things that I remember in like my short-term memory before starting a tournament. And then after the tournament, I just forget them again. That is kind of how it goes.
You glue it to your brain, and then eventually the glue falls off, and you have to try and put it back on again.
Exactly.
But that's also, I mean, our brains are only so big. I mean, our brains are only so big, and obviously you guys, all the pro community players from Geoguessr, somehow your brains can store, I mean, 9 trillion times the amount that the average persons can.
This might be interesting. I think Yanek saw a Punjabi unique pole in India here, and Punjab is quite out of the way. If Nestor does not realize it, this will be huge damage for Yanek. Maybe. Yes, it is Punjab, and that's a very good guess by Yanek. There's like a little window on the pole that is exclusive to the state of Punjab, so great guess there.
And if there's a time to strike back, I mean, Yanek down 2-0, needs to come off to a good start. What better way than to set Nestor back by almost 2,000 points in round 2 of this first match. Or third match, I should say, sorry.
I think we also have a phone code here, 064 in Korea. I'm pretty sure that's pretty south in Korea. So I don't think we're gonna be in North Korea. No, just kidding. But yeah, Nestor still belongs middle. I don't think he knows Korean phone codes. He doesn't. He said he's not really a moving player, so that is the case. Yanek also in the middle. I mean, this
Plonk,
might
plonk.
not be a helpful phone code anyways, but let's see.
Wait,
It was very simple. Yeah, it was Jeju.
Okay, I
Wow.
feel like that's a rarity.
That is a rarity, yeah. I don't think you see those. You see this island. Usually, when you get this island, you see like volcanic rock walls because it's quite a volcanic island. So you see some dark rock.
Not
But
gonna lie, I didn't
in
even
this
know there
round-
was an island down here south of. I mean, I knew there were islands
Yeah.
south of South Korea, but not this one.
Quite a nice island.
I would imagine. Have you been there?
No.
You've been there in Google
But
Maps.
I have been there in Google Maps, exactly.
It looks
I
pretty,
know that-
so that's what I'm gonna
I know
go
that
by.
Koreans like to go on vacation there, so
Oh. Also, I mean, with volcanic islands in general, it does add, I feel like, a little more to the flowers, the nature. It makes it grow a
True.
bit nicer. So always beautiful. As
absolutely.
heading
Again,
to
on a
round number
town
4.
center here. It's definitely something to find here. Do you think this looks like?
I was gonna say Finland for a second, but now I'm not sure anymore because
Yeah,
it had a SAS logo, which is like Scandinavian Airlines.
yeah. I
we're
still can't really
definitely-
read anything. but I
Definitely
think it's
Scandinavian.
Sweden. It might be Finland. It might be Sweden. If I could read any language, then I would
That would help.
know.
Is it in Finland
But-
that you can do the thing by the amount of lines on the walking path thing? Where it's like every
Oh,
country
yes.
has different amount of paths?
Yes, I believe you can tell apart, for example, the Baltic nations by the amount of lines on a pedestrian crossing. And we have Turku on the sign here, which is a big city in southwest Finland. Yanek finds it and maybe plonks? No? 3 seconds left. Oh, Nestor's in Sweden. Big damage.
Ooh. Huge distance, huge damage. Another big hit to Nestor. 2001 round, 1800 in the next. And all of a sudden, Yanek looking to strike back in this one.
Yanek definitely getting confidence boost here. Finally, some big hits on Nestor. And I think he now is able to play out his moving strength that I predicted he would have. But yeah. He still needs to finish the job.
Definitely does. It ain't over till it's over. 3 times multiply can still go either way. That's a massive sign. Some French on it, it seems. And that's where we're
Absolutely.
going.
He plonked in a very specific region, though. I wonder if he found an area code or something like that. Nestor's just in the middle, so we have one commit and one... Oh, he's south now.
South? Oh! Are we looking at game? We
Yanek
might
found
be.
the info.
Yeah, that's
That
definitely,
should be game.
definitely game. Solid comeback there from Yanek. 3 rounds in a row. Bing, bang, boom. And there you go. You win yourself a moving round. The last one, though. The last moving round that he's going to be seeing in this matchup. And now, Lindy, in a second, we're going to be heading into no move again. I mean, where does Yanek sit? Can he get this momentum carried over into round number 3 or 4, I guess?
I think that's very possible. We saw in the first moving game, in the first no moving game, that Yanek kind of had a lead going, and Nestor just struck back with that last second switch. So I think I think Yanek can win this no moving game for sure, but I think this is definitely one where Nestor won't make as many mistakes as he might do in a moving game.
Well, let's not linger. Let's not wait around. Let's get these guys back on the server, back in the game, and get ready for round, I should say, number 4, as I update the scoreboard here as well. It's the second time that we head into a 4th round, the last one of no move. And should Yanek come out victorious here, then we are looking... Ooh, that's a very quick lock. To potentially
Nestor
go to
told me
NB
his
set.
strength was Indonesia, so one country is very confident in apparently, and he instantly plonks in a region that I think makes sense. But Yanek is also there, and Yanek is closer. Wow.
Oh, wow. Big damage to start things off again. I mean, 500 might not look like much in the grand scheme of things, but round 1, 500 damage, that's a pretty heavy hit.
Also, on a country that you favor yourself in might not be what you want.
True. Maybe he thought that... I mean, that's again the thing where the 15 seconds... I mean, for pro players, that's a lot of time.
15 extra seconds is a lot to adjust, and this round looks very, very difficult. It might be Indonesia again, yes. The vegetation looks pretty Southeast Asian. The narrow road makes sense for where Nestor plonked, but the plantations could also be where Yanek is. Although he's in the water. And wow.
He says hello, the other guy says hi. Like
strength is real.
3k round 2.
That's an impressive guess from Nestor.
And it was so fast too, with the flick of the mouse very early on. It didn't even seem like he was fully committing to the island specifically, but still, so much on point. Great round from Nestor, who clearly doesn't want to take it all the way to an NP set.
I think that was a very good strategy, setting Yanek under pressure if you're confident on your country. In the first round it didn't work, and in the second round it worked big time. So in the end, very good result for Nestor there. Now we get a Sweden, I believe. We have the red Google car, so it should only be Sweden. Different regions though. Yanek, close.
Distance.
Wow. We're hitting back and forth here. Wow, this is a very fast-paced game with very big damages exchanged.
Definitely. It seems like they're both, I mean, I feel like it's kind of a foot race where they're both trying to up the other, but they're also, you know, like their feet are getting bloody while doing so. They're constantly trying to keep the other guy on their toes, but in doing so, getting some pretty big mistakes in there.
Yeah, I love the anecdote there. And this time we have a Japan with electricity region info, so maybe both of them will get the right region here. Okay, they're different regions though. Nestor and Kyushu, and Yanek identified it correctly though. It's another big hit here.
We might be done before round 5. This is huge from how the pace have been so far of just, you know, chip damage back and forth, and then a heavy hit in the end. This is, I mean, this is an insane pace that this game is taking, and Yanek is currently leading.
It is. Now we got a US round with wide road lines. These are more common in some states over others. This could be like, I don't know, Louisiana, Texas, or something like that. Yanek zooming into Texas, which is definitely a reasonable guess here. There's a town name as well. I can't read it, but if the players can, then maybe they are scanning for it. Did Yanek find it here? It's possible. He looked confident when he plunked.
Might have.
And let's see. It's a similar region though, so no big points. Yeah.
Finally, we get to breathe for a second. No big 1000 damage hits as we head on into round number 6. Again, to line it up for all of you, if Nestor comes out victorious here, it's a game over. Yanek is down and out. But Yanek could bring it into NMP set with a win here, and he's just 1542 damage away from doing just that.
It's another big country. It's definitely possible to pick up big points here in what I believe is it Australia or New Zealand? Can't really see the bollards on the screen share. Yeah, it's New Zealand bollards. Similar region again, so maybe we can breathe one more round.
Hopefully. I'm too old to try and sprint against these fast guys. We'll see. I mean, even if they're close, New Zealand's still big enough that 1500 health now could be maybe 300 health coming in the next round, and then we're looking at a potential GG already then. Well.
Meter vegetation looks like West Coast, New Zealand, at least vaguely. And yeah, it is West Coast. Nice.
Could have been game. Could have been game had one of them committed further south, but not quite the case. But again, 400 damage done here. Yanek trying to chip away, and Nestor now just at 1100 health with 4 times multiplier as well. You don't have to be far off in order to lose yourself this round now.
But the thing is, 2400 health on Yanek can also be lost in a single round here, so... And then he is out. So this one probably not going to be the game decider. We have the Rwandan Google car, and Rwanda is a really small country. So this should not be game.
Quick guesses coming in. Neither of them on point, but it's not going to matter too much. I guess, in the grand scheme of things, 200 damage done. At least a little bit damage towards Yanek to kind of try and even things out coming into the last couple of rounds here.
Exactly. Maybe if we reach around 10, then maybe those 200 damage will be deciding. But yeah, I think both of the players want to finish it off before round 10 happens. And we are in North America again.
North America, big country, big points, as I've heard you guys say 9 trillion times before.
Yeah.
We'll see now.
Ooh, we have one Canada and one US. I'm not sure which
game.
one is the correct country here. This would probably be game if they stay where they are. But they are still adjusting. I don't think Nestor is gonna stay where he is. He's like on the border right now. Yeah, he's committing further into Canada. I don't know which one of the two it is. But wow. There is no way.
What a game.
There's no way he just plonked that. And that's the win. Nestor moves on.
Nestor, 16 kilometers off. He was up there early, full committed to it, and brings it home. What a way to finish it. I do feel a little bad for Yanek, because he was starting to bring back that momentum. He was starting to catch on, but Nestor just shuts him down. As we head to round number 4 in just a moment, we'll get that game set up for you. But before that, see, talk me through what we saw here. I mean, Sheena playing incredibly well right now.
Yeah, incredibly well, and he gets me worried sometimes when he last second switches, because okay, either he does the right thing or he will hate himself for second guessing himself and switching last second. But in this match, it worked out both times and with very great effect. Especially the Mexico round stood out to me. He was on the East Coast first, then switched to the West Coast, basically getting the road. So yeah, great performance by him.
We've seen a few of them already. I will say, though, I mean, we saw from Satsu in the previous match that he played how his ability to kind of set the pace up and force his opponent to make mistakes. I mean, Sheena is happily taking those 15 seconds any day of the week, and has been, while maybe adjusting quite a bit in the last couple of seconds. It goes to show that with every adjustment he's made, he's just gotten that much closer to the target.
Yeah, I think there's also difference in moving and no move, because in moving, you don't only give them more time, you give them more opportunities as well to find information.
True.
And in no move, maybe he will stick to it, just guessing fast, because he won't gain any more information from it, unless he missed like a crucial thing in the image. But I think he will take a good look, and then if he's confident, just insta-send and maybe put on the pace again.
Well, we'll see if it's going to work out for him as we are headed on into the next round. Let's just get it up. Let's get it going, as it is now 2-1 in favor of Sheena. Round number 1. Simple days here to kick things off. What are we seeing?
Yeah, just a simple South Africa. Blue car, driving left. Southern Hemisphere, only one option. Question is, can they read anything helpful here, like a phone code or a town name? I don't see one.
Very quiet days. Cape Town is where Satsu is looking down towards, even south thereof, all the way down to the southern cape, southern tip of the continent.
Yeah, I kind of like it because we have like a mountain ridge east, which could be the one just downtown Cape Town. But it looks a bit empty for it, maybe.
Let's see.
That would be a very good guess if it is there. I think he will switch.
Somewhat nearby vicinities, but still Satsu a bit further off to the east. Let's see who's going to come out victorious.
I'm
guessing so far.
I think Sheena found it.
Is that a 5K? One of the first of the day. Yes, it is. 22 meters off. Yet another 5K. And while I know it might not matter much in the current format and grand scheme of things, I do love to see it. Love to see players being able to pull up a globe and lock down the exact location they're in.
I mean, just the mental warfare on that guess is very, very good for Sheena, because he's already up 2-1 and he makes a very impressive guess first round. Not only makes a good guess, but also just gets the exact road. Yeah, and Saju's like, okay, this is kind of not going my way right now.
Game on. Yeah, and you have to win this one as well. Remember, everyone, it is a best of 5. So unless if he can bring this one home and take us into our first NMP set of the evening, then it's going to be game over.
I don't know if I can handle an NPC game right now. But both people will.
East side Brazil once more. We've been over here a couple of times already today.
Yeah, usually when it gets this hilly, it can only be the eastern part, really.
Indeed it was. Just to in between him. Damage done though towards Satsu, who, I mean, again, when you're down around, you're looking at elimination, and Sheena is playing flawless Geoguessr. How do you upset this? Oh my.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah. How do you upset him? Like, how do you catch him off? It doesn't feel like there's a region or country where he's just inconsistent.
I mean, maybe like we saw, maybe he's not very confident in Europe because that's where I think he made his only 2 mistakes in this matchup, which was like the Italy-Austria round. I still don't know which side it was, but it was somewhere on the border, and the Hungary round. Both rounds had like very little info, and maybe that's like the rounds you kind of have to get, those like nondescript European rounds. Maybe that's Saju's like hope.
Well, Saju's going to log in the western side of Norway. We'll see if he gets any points off of it. Sheena has gotten the same direction as well, so this should be minimal points. But nonetheless, points in favor of Saju, who will finally start taking a couple of points off of Sheena.
Always good to break the flawless very early on.
Mental warfare, as you were saying. While these guys obviously can't talk to one another during the game, I mean, technically they could, but they don't. It's always good to show that we aren't immortal after all.
Yeah, they're very locked in always. I'm always very surprised nobody has any like facial reactions. They're like cold-blooded killers sometimes.
Full focus.
Yeah.
Love to see it. A quick or early placement towards Estonia, towards Latvia. Are you liking what we're seeing?
Yep. I'm liking Latvia here, but that's just because I don't know, the road looks bad. And it is Latvia.
On point once again. 300 damage done towards Saju. The small hits come through once more as we head into round number 5. Not really too much separating them. As I say that, actually 1,700 points is quite a chunk. As we now hop over to something that looks UK-ish to me.
Yeah, either UK or Ireland here. The line to me, the road line looks more Irish, but I'm not very confident right now. I'll stick with Ireland with my guess, but...
Line in the background, some hills to look at. Building on the left, but doesn't look like that has a lot of info to go off of.
Yeah, architecture obviously very similar in the two, or can be very similar. Although this house like arguably looks a bit more Irish.
Mm-hmm.
But it can always be Wales and...
Oh, well, Wales is where, well, at least the border there too, is where Saju has placed his marker. Still towards the north, there's 3 times multiplier. While the distances aren't that great, it could be a lot of damage coming through, and it is going to be Ireland. Neither of the ones had the country correct, but regardless, it is going to be Sheena who comes out victorious.
I'm very surprised because we had the same thing in an earlier matchup, and both people didn't guess Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was one Northern Ireland guess and one was in the water. I think it was Nestor against... Yeah, I'm kind of surprised because I think this road line is just Ireland, but it's always easier from a caster chair to just say,
of course.
Yeah, that's easy to get.
Yeah, why couldn't you get
in
that
the situation? It's I've been there and I made horrible mistakes when I was playing in competitive environments, so you kind of have to give them some, some lee room.
The pressure does get to you. Does get to you indeed. We'll see if the pressure's going to get to them here. Sheena has, again, played pretty flawless so far. We'll see if the pressure's going to get to him. If Saju gets any chance of crawling back into this match, he's currently over 2,000 health behind as he now locks in. Towards Colombia is where Sheena is guessing too.
Both in a very similar area.
Yep, but it's Saju able to claw back, able to get a little bit of damage done. 1,000 at that to try and even things out, getting closer to that round number 10 as we hop into flat cornfields once again.
You like to see it, or you don't, depending on how this round goes, maybe.
I'm gonna say Kansas. That's just a guess with absolutely nothing to build it off of. I was once told that there's a lot of corn in Kansas, and I'm seeing a lot of corn, therefore this must be Kansas.
Yeah, it is a lot of corn. I was thinking more of like Illinois, Indiana. Just because of how many trees are around. And we have 2 people in Illinois, actually. So that kind of confirms my idea. But I'm not the best US player.
Well, we'll see if they prove to be both locked in, both Illinois, both correct. I was wrong, but that's fine by me. They are much better than me and Saju. While having just done 1,000 damage, we'll take them in return immediately after. Yet another open field circle here as... Again, what are you going off of in a location like this, Siggy?
A bit stunned here. We have the back of the car, which is European. we see the little place where the antenna would usually be.
Mm-hmm.
But as to which country we are, I'm kind of lost here.
That's good.
I'm
That means maybe they are too.
Yeah, I think this is not an easy one. I'm kind of thinking again, like maybe Romania, Hungary. But again, this is a very hard round. But this is maybe what Sergio needs.
I mean,
It's a very hard European
4.5k.
round.
Yeah, exactly. A lucky hunch, a lucky maybe second guess of yourself to get it close, and then having Sheena make arguably one of the only mistakes he's made all evening. You can see him now off the mouse as well, hands held together. He's not sure what he wants to go for here.
Germany is interesting. I mean, this would be a very interesting road for Germany and very empty. I could see maybe a Czechia.
He did say that he wasn't too confident in Europe. Be that.
And Sergio just hedging like 4 countries pretty much. So let's see where it is.
Are we game? Oh, we're not. It is going to be Germany. It is going to be Sheena closer. And that, my friends, is going to be game. And that is going to be Sheena, the first player through to the grand finals.